life can get messy. I feel like I'm in go mode all the time. I'm constantly working. I get up, I brush my teeth, and then boom, I'm off. And this week especially, I had a couple days where I was up really early, and then I brushed my teeth, took a shower, and then went out the door. And out the door at 5:30, back in the house at probably 8 p.m. And those days are amazing. They're so awesome. And at the same time, I've realized and recognized in my own life that too many of those days in a row, too much time of that in a row leads to massive burnout. And so the big question for me over the last couple years is like, how do I deal with burnout? I, probably like many of you, am kind of workaholic, and this has just been something that's been kind of innate within me, is the feeling that I need to work all the time. If I'm not working or working out or learning something or bettering myself in some way, then I'm somehow moving backwards. And this is a habit that once is formed, it's hard to get out of. Now, let me say, on the overall trend of this, I think it's a really good thing. I think that the amount of work that I've put into certain things has led me to develop skills that have really developed my life and got me to the place that I'm at today. It's important to acknowledge that that place has also gotten me to burnout multiple times in my life, and probably more times than I'm afraid to admit. So in this video, I kind of want to talk about burnout, starting to figure out how to deal with that and how to avoid it, because that is something that I just don't enjoy. So burnout for me, very quickly, what it feels like to me is that I need to move across the country or across the world, drop off the grid for 6 months and recharge. It's characterized by me not wanting to do what I'm currently doing and feeling like what I'm currently doing is grinding me through the ground. I mean, it's hard to deal with. Life is kind of like a pendulum, like it swings really far in both directions. It's cyclical, it moves in that way. And so understanding that, I thought that I could just press my foot on the gas to no end, just keep climbing a mountain like this. And the reality of the situation is that I would be pressing my foot on the gas so hard and at the same time enjoying what I'm doing, but you can't leave your foot pressed on the gas all the time. It doesn't work like that. Our minds and our bodies need time to recharge and think about things and grow in ways that are different than work. What I figured out in these moments of burnout is that my pendulum would be so far in this direction, I would try to hold it up there for as long as possible and think that that's somehow sustainable because of all these messages of like, work your face off and grind and grind and grind. That you think that that's where you're supposed to be all the time, you just end up hating life. And so what I recognized was that feeling of me needing to move across the country and drop off the grid, that was just a swing back of the pendulum. Now, here's the problem when that happens is sometimes you don't feel like you can do that. I don't feel like I can go and move to Alaska for 6 months and just decompress and not talk to anybody, because it's not realistic. It's just not. And so what I am starting to realize is that if I can slow the pendulum down a little bit or balance it out a little bit more, then I sometimes feel better. Here's what I mean by this. I don't mean that work and life and balance or fun or rest or whatever you call that is the same amount of actual time. In my life, I kind of just need like an hour a day of checking in with myself to really slow that thing down to where I can operate from a place of I'm excited about what I'm doing, I'm enthusiastic, I'm just so excited to meet the people and interact with people. But I do need that time. And so this year is the first year that I've really been intentional about implementing that time, and what it's done for my mental health is amazing. So the actual change that I've made is I've started to prioritize taking time for myself every day. And this doesn't mean it's a scheduled thing. I don't take 6 to 7 p.m. or 5 to 6 a.m. or any of that stuff. It's not that. It's just I'm checking in with myself every day. Hey, how do I feel right now? How much energy do I have? Am I enthusiastic about what I'm doing? Is my body tired? Am I aching? Like, is there a situation at work that kind of got under my skin today? What was it? And just going through this stuff. And the way that I've done it so far is that I've gone and taken a walk. This is the most simple thing that was right in front of my face the whole time, and I'm just now getting it. Just now getting it. I never understood why adults would sit on the porch and just sit there and not do anything. And the older I get, the more I realize why they do that. It's because it's just relaxing. So I read this book by Trevor Blake. It's called The 3 Simple Steps, and I would really highly recommend that you check it out. I mean, it's not a big book. I don't know if it's a bestseller, it might be, but in his book, the second step he talks about is taking walks in the woods, taking walks in nature, being in nature, and the ability that it has to reset your mind. The first thing these walks or sitting down and checking in with myself does for me is it lets my brain decompress a little bit. I take my foot off the gas. There's no purpose of these walks. I'm not trying to think about a problem. I'm not trying to solve anything. I'm just letting my brain sift through whatever it needs to sift through. I'm not trying to consciously think about anything. And what always happens during these walks is the first 20 minutes or so is just like, it's like mud. And it feels like that in my brain. It feels like mud and just walking around in mud, and it's hard. And then after 20 minutes or so, my brain becomes really clear and I just feel more in tune with life. I feel more aware of what's going on inside my head and inside my body, how I'm feeling about something. And then things will just come up. So like ideas or, I actually felt this way about this at the time that it happened, but I didn't really have the time to go through that. And so now I can unpack it and think about it a little bit. And so what I found through this process is that it kind of settles everything. Everything kind of just chills out a little bit, and I just feel so recharged. It's the easiest thing in the world, is taking a walk. So the second thing that these walks or quiet time or just taking time for myself does for me is it allows me to pick my head up above the clouds and look around a little bit and think about what's the bigger picture of what I'm doing here? Why am I doing this? How do I feel about what I'm doing? Maybe what's the direction that I'm going in? And it gives me the ability to think about things in a whole different way because there's no pressure for me to think about things. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't do the best when I have a time constraint and when somebody says to me, hey, come up with this idea and make it happen by 1 o'clock. Really hard for me to do because I'm expecting my brain to come up with things, and my brain is like in control mode. It's not in dream mode. So when I'm walking with no aim at all, or sitting with no aim at all, things just kind of come to you that weren't there before because you didn't have to think about them. That's why I'm making this video, honestly. Like all of this stuff, the reason that I even sat down to make a video or was inspired to make a video is because my brain had space to think about it. I wasn't in the grind and monotony of I gotta do this for work, and then I gotta do this, and then I gotta do this, and then I gotta do this. I just had time. That's really what it was. And even now on a Saturday, when I'll just tell you, like usually on Saturdays I work a lot, and I don't like that. I'm not like super into that. I don't wear that as like a badge of honor, but that's just like the habit that I've gotten into. And so yesterday I made it a really big point to finish everything I had to do for the weekend. I finished it on a Friday, and that was liberating because this morning I had no plans. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to do anything today. I could hypothetically be a veg on the couch and just sit there and do nothing and watch TV all day if I wanted to. And just that realization for me was so awesome. And that the realization is awesome because then it allowed me to sit down and say, oh, what do I want to do? Not what I have to, but like, what do I want to do? Oh, I've been thinking about this. Like I've been thinking, why don't I make a video? So it allows me to think about things in a completely new way. Like maybe make a direction change in whatever I'm doing, or hey, I want to reach out to this person for this thing, or hey, maybe I'll want to try to go this direction with work or shooting or creating or connecting with people. It just allows you to pick your head up a little bit, look around, and get a reevaluation on life. So I really enjoy that. I don't know about you, but for me, work-life balance is hard. I mean, work-life balance has taken me a long time to figure out, and I still haven't figured it out. I still find myself at times frustrated, at times questioning what I'm doing, or not sure of like if this is the right direction, or if I'm working too hard, if I'm not working hard enough. Like there's all these questions that come up, and I'm just trying to figure it out like everybody else. But I hope that this video can give you some sort of encouragement to maybe just make the pendulum swings a little bit tighter. Check in with yourself every day, like figure out, how am I feeling about life? And if that's not good, if you don't want to face that, then maybe that's a good thing. Like maybe you should look that in the mirror. So moral of the story, take some time for yourself, take some time to chill out, take some time to check in with yourself. Just be with yourself. No pressure, nothing. Let yourself chill out. No social media, no phones, nothing like that. Just hang out with yourself for just a little bit a day. It could be like 5 minutes a day, but it's helped me a lot. And so maybe it'll help you too. I don't know. We're all just trying to feel better in life. We're all just trying to live a happier, healthier life. And that's the goal. So I hope this helps you in some way. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.